Hey guys, I'm Jean.
And I'm Jamie.
And we are your everyday misfits.
Each month we invite a woman from our community to come and have a seat at our girlfriend table for some fun and relatable conversation.
But that's not all. We love supporting local small businesses. So if you are a local business in the Colorado Springs community that would like to sponsor our show, we would love to feature your products or services in an adventure experience. So reach out to Jean at everydaygirladventures.com and we will get you set up.
Speaking of adventures, we had some fun ones this week. This week we published our second book in our Everyday Girl Adventures series. This one's entitled Everyday Adventures. And last year we published our very first book that featured 16 different stories inside of it that were just people's relatable experiences of their adventures and the fun and lessons that they found along the way. This year we have 19 authors, and it includes men and a dog. So we're super excited about that, and that's been really fun this week working on it.
Yes, it's definitely been an adventure. Very challenging, just like any adventure. Full of struggles, but highlights as well. We learned how to publish from the ground up, becoming authors, editors, publishers, because we wanted to share this with other people. And we're super excited to bringing this to the world next week.
And speaking of adventures though, Jean, you had another adventure this week. A little bit different from that.
Yes, I'm always having adventures, and yes, we're authors now and we do events. And speaking of events, I got invited to be a co-host for #Fashion Week in Colorado Springs, and it was very fun. We did that last night. We featured the event at DM Beauty Salon, and working with the stylists and the models and the production team. So much fun. Definitely an adventure.
It was really neat to see all the different unique styles there for sure. But speaking of adventures, let's get started on our adventure for today. Today's guest is Laurie Kroeger from Visible Potential. Welcome, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi there.
Coming.
So good to see you.
So much.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, every month we have a product sponsor. The last 2 months we've actually had food. Jamie's going to be a little disappointed because we have some snacks here, but we don't have food this month. We are being sponsored by the Radiance Collection by Local Legends Salon and Spa, which I own. We came out with this really fun self-care line that has the healing benefits of CBD, and it's just really organic, natural products. And I've gotten a lot of really good feedback so far. We just came out with it, but you can try it at our Self-Care Sunday series that we have every second Sunday. Although next month it's going to be the third Sunday because we're going to be out of town, but the week before. But normally it's second Sunday at Local Legends Salon and Spa, and you can try it out in a really fun foot soak while also connecting with the community and checking out other local businesses at our pop-up market. So what we're going to do here is the water. We're going to use the teapot for the water.
Minor detail.
Everything's an adventure, right? It's nice and hot, so
That is true.
we forgot to do a different water receptacle for.
Hey, that's okay.
So
Works the same.
the one that we're going to try today is our Lavender Euphoria Bath Elixir. I love self-care, and so when I came out with this line, I wanted something that was going to make people feel that. So that you can actually use this all over your body. And I've had a few people buy it. Actually, I've sold quite a few of them without actually being fully launched yet. And we also have a retinol cream that also has CBD in it. I had a woman tell me the other day that she thought that it took 10 years off her hand.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So
Nice.
I mean, I got to try it on my feet and it was super soft, but I'm super
Smells
excited because my
amazing.
hands are always
it
dry.
smells really good. The water's nice, and it's a little bit hot.
Nice and warm.
But it's nice
like
and warm.
outside.
But we actually did this at Self-Care Sunday, but we soaked our feet in it and it was amazing. And I'm not just saying that because it's my brand, but also everybody really, really loved it. And I've had people send me messages and texts telling me how relaxing it is, and they think it's really magical. And so that's part of the reason why it's named Lavender Euphoria Bath Elixir, because it's gonna rejuvenate you and make you feel amazing, but it also smells really good.
I really wish we had some smell-o-vision going because it smells amazing.
I know, but so you have to come check it out yourself at local Legend Salon and Spa and smell it, because just one whiff, people have really, really responded to it. But it is, like, you don't even think about your hands sometimes, and like how you need that self-care for it.
Well, I was really excited about it because I'm not a lotion fan. I really hate the way it feels on my hands, but my hands get really, really dry. And I remember how nice it was to have the foot soak on my feet and how soft they felt. So I was like, ooh, we're gonna try it on our hands today and see, you know, just because it reminds me of those little like hand masks you kind of do, like the way that it felt on my feet. So
It's really, it feels really silky.
yeah,
I feel
that's
like.
the word.
It does.
silky, yeah.
Well, and my cuticles are always so dry, and living up in the mountains, you know, our area here is really, really dry. And I can already kind of feel it softening some of those areas on my fingers, and
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so far I've only tried it on my feet. So this is really nice to try it on our hands, because it does, you guys gotta try this. It is wonderful. There's just something about it too, and I don't know if it's probably the seed BD in it, because it does have those healing properties in it, but you can feel it. Like it's almost,
calming.
it is, it's really calming. And so I tried the Citrus Serenity Soak, and that one smells delicious, like lemons.
That one's my favorite.
But I love both of them. Both of them are really good. They're really amazing.
I might have to take some of that citrus home.
Well, we
And
have
if it smells anything close to this one, it'll be amazing.
It does. In fact, actually, that one's more popular.
Is it?
Funny enough, yeah. People take one smell and they,
Well, citrus is naturally energizing as well.
yeah.
That's true.
You know, when you need a pick-me-up, just smelling citrus, smelling lemon, smelling an orange, creates the dopamine and the endorphins in your brain that gives you a little bit more energy.
Well, that's kind of neat too. And then isn't lavender's the opposite, right? Lavender's like the relaxing and the calming, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
a purpose for both of them, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
But I've been using this stuff for about 8 weeks now. So I use the retinol cream as well, which we will try on our hands after we're done soaking, because that also, I've gotten a lot of really good feedback on that, and people say, like I said, the woman who said that it took 10 years, she was like, no, I'm not kidding. I think it took 10 years off the top of my hand. But I've also gotten some really good feedback from people that have been using it on their face for a couple of weeks now, and they say the same thing, that they do really feel like it's rejuvenating and turning back the clock. And so that's really, really nice to hear when you're trying to put something out there in the community for people to feel good. And so it's a big passion of mine.
Yeah, we did have one woman that bought it, and she said she will never go back and use another face cream again. So that's pretty neat.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was actually the
That's
first one.
exciting.
She said, she's like, I don't know what you put in this, but it is magical. I am never using another face cream again. And I was like, will you write me a review? And she was like, absolutely. So, and actually, I've had several people ready to write me a review, but we hadn't officially launched it yet. So now we're out. Now we're ready. It'll be on the website, everydaygirladventures.com. And you will be able to order it if you're not local. If you're local, come by Local Legend Salon and Spa and try it out. Or just send me a DM and we'll get you hooked up, because it's really good stuff.
Definitely worth it.
Well, we can continue doing this if you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it.
And you don't have to stop, because it is nice and relaxing. But I would like to move on to the next segment, which is why we're here today. That fun girlfriend conversation that we want to have every month. So today's topic is happily ever after. And I know it seems kind of early in our season to be using that as our topic, but that can mean a lot of different things. Right, Laurie?
It really can. You know, when you think about happily ever after, more often than not, we are relating to relationships, we're relating to friendships, marriages, but it really comes down to your own personal happily ever after as well. And how do you make that happen?
So I know a little bit about what you do, but can you introduce who you are and what your business is about?
Absolutely. So my name is Laurie Kroeger. I am the owner of Visible Potential, where we make the seemingly invisible visible. And we take those self-limiting beliefs, we focus on repairing some of the trauma that we've had in our lives so that we can move forward without the triggers and finding that happy ever after.
And that is really, really important, because a lot of people have a really hard time doing that because we get caught up in our emotions and the stress of everyday life and relationships too. So it is really hard to find that, but you can do it in different ways. And I think self-care, which is what we're doing right now, is a big part of finding your happily ever after. And maybe it's not even forever, maybe it's your happily ever after right now. And so that's why we wrote a book, because we wanted to do something that was fun and meaningful and included other people, just like everything else that I do is for that same exact reason. And for me, that is my happily ever after, because it brings me special joy to bring people together and have these fun memories and see them making memories. And I just brought them to this place to do it, and I don't even have to do anything. So that's really fun for me. That's kind of my happily ever after, is creating that.
You're really, really good at giving people that sense of belonging that we so often are missing. And when we're trying to find that happily ever after, we're trying to find our tribe. And as misfits that we all feel all the time, well, not all the time, but we often feel like misfits. We do. And we get lonely and we forget that we are important and that there are people in this community and around us that love us and care about us.
It's true. And it's never too late to find your happily ever after, because I know a lot of people think, well, I'm stuck in this situation or this mundane job or the cards I was given in life. A lot of people don't think that they can change that, but you can change it through different little things in your routines every day. And so for me, my coffee in the morning, like that starts my day. I go to bed sometimes really, really excited for my coffee in the morning.
I'm with you.
I am not kidding. People think it's funny, but it's true, because it's that special me time that I get to have in the morning, and it's that hot cup of coffee, and it's like a warm hug early in the morning. It just makes me happy. It makes me feel good, but it's also time for me, time to sit and think by myself and come up with all these ideas that Jamie always says I roll out of bed with. Because I do, I'll text her and then she's like, another idea.
It's a great moment of mindfulness.
It's
true. And that's when you have that time to just sit and reflect and get excited about your day instead of dreading it or going, oh my God, I have so much to do. I just want to crawl back in bed. I'm exhausted already. Mm-hmm. And really just overcoming that mindset is so important that oftentimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. We don't even realize that that's what we're doing. And we're talking ourselves into being tired. We're talking ourselves into being cranky when you have a choice. You have a choice every single day to have that happily ever after.
Well, we all do, but it's really hard sometimes. It is really, really hard to think that way, that you can have a happily after just today even. Like you can turn your day around. Sometimes you have a really bad day. It happens a lot of the time. Why do you think we call it Everyday Adventures? Because every day is an adventure, and sometimes it is full of ups and downs and crying. There's a lot of crying. There's a bunch of tears involved. There's a lot of laughs involved.
Yes.
So, and there's some stressful times too. But you can always decide to let that go and turn your day around. And so for me, I like to try to have a happily ever after every day if I can. Salvage the day, and even if it's like the worst day ever, there's usually something funny in there. We usually end up laughing about it, and then it makes a really good story, and that's why we have everyday adventures. So,
well, I think it's good too. Like, I mean, people always ask me, I'm really, really busy all the time, and people always ask me, Well, how do you do that? Oh, I can never do that. Well, you can. It's all about making fun in what you're doing. Like, I might be gone from 6 a.m. till midnight every single day, and that's not an exaggeration most of the time, but I mean, I like to laugh. So I make jokes about everything to the point where sometimes it's over the top, just to, you know, have a smile and some fun in whatever I'm doing, whether it be at work or just hanging out. But even like you were talking about your coffee, for me, it's listening to music in the car at the top volume and singing along. You know, that's my time. I love my music in my car, and I'm in it a lot, so it works out really well. But just finding those little tiny moments, despite what's going on, is really what it's all about for me. So
it is, and being aware of those tiny moments. Those are, you know, for me, I'm with you. I'm in the music, and I love cranking it up. I open up the sunroof on the car, give me some sunshine. I love my sunshine. You know, that for me is, even if I can just stand in the sun for 10 or 15 minutes, will help give me an attitude change.
Yeah.
You know, there are sometimes when we just need a slight attitude adjustment to create that happily ever after.
What's really neat about what you just said, and kind of what we've all been saying, is that self-care and that me time. So you are a communication coach in what you do. You do it for personal relationships, and you also do it for businesses.
I do.
But a lot of the time we don't think about the communication that we need to have with ourselves, and I think that's kind of where we were going with all the things that we were talking about with our self-care and spending time with us. Sometimes you need that communication with yourself.
It is. So I wrote a book called Loving You is Easy, Loving Me is Hard. And one of the things in there is about self-care. It is not selfish, but it's that mind mop, that itty bitty shitty committee that, you know, tells you how worthless you are, or you're not good enough, or this isn't right for you, you know, or maybe if we just wait till next week, it'll be fine. Well, next week never comes. It's like tomorrow never comes, because it's always today. And so when you really think about what you're saying to yourself, would you say that to your mother? Would you say that to your best friend? Would you say that to your daughter? If you won't say those things to those people, then why are you saying it to yourself? And how are you communicating with your mind and your body? You know, so really focusing on, you know, they say positive affirmations, okay? I have a problem with positive affirmations, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Oftentimes when you're told to say positive affirmations, your mind knows that you're telling yourself a lie. And so when you start focusing on, okay, what is good about today? And you say, you don't have to say, oh, I'm this rich, wealthy, fabulous. Your mind knows you're not telling the truth. And then
you should tell yourself the truth.
Yes. You know, but at the same time, you want to say, okay, I am working towards this. That is believable. That is something that you can attain. And it's that conversation that you're having with yourself.
That makes a lot of sense, because I've always had a hard time with fake it till you make it. That is something that, I don't know why, but people always say that to give you the courage to do the things that you want to do. But that's something that I don't know why, but that phrase has always turned me off, because
it compromises your own integrity. It compromises your values and what's important to you. So when you're lying to yourself by saying positive affirmations, you know, how are you going to make that happen if you don't believe it? Like if you sit there and you can tell yourself, I am fearless, and you're facing a bear, do you really feel like you're fearless? Okay?
Right.
Your mind knows,
well,
your body
survival, I think.
knows. That comes down to more survival, but you're not going to be fearless in a moment of fear. And that's the point. You know, you're not going to be confident in a moment of incompetence.
So how do you become confident in those moments of fear?
Little steps. In those moments, you're sitting there going, okay, I am working to do this. I have accomplished A, B, or C. These are the pieces of my life that I am moving towards, and you can get excited about it. And having somebody there to vocalize those, to hold you accountable, to help you reach those goals is important. Being able to just sit back and listen. You know, a lot of times we don't have enough people in our lives who can just listen without judgment.
That's true.
Yep,
And
that's true.
we are human, we all judge, that's part of life, that's how we base our decisions. But after that initial piece of judgment, we can be empathetic, we can be mindful, and we can actually sit down and hear what's important to that person.
So I have a question for you then. So I am also a teacher, and one of the things we do is positive affirmations in the morning. So thinking about what you've said, like the kids come in and they look at a mirror and it has all these different adjectives on there, and they say I am, and pick an adjective and read it to themselves in the mirror. So with the intent, to get them in that positive mindset, how would you kind of teach people that they don't already, so they're young moldable minds, they're first graders. How would you suggest going about something like that in
First graders don't know how to lie to themselves. They are so creative, and their minds they don't have that self-judgment that we have as we get older. And so those affirmations, it's just teaching them how to talk to themselves positively. And they get to pick the one that means something to them that day. For them, it's true, because they don't know how to lie to themselves.
That's
and
true.
I think that's amazing that you do that with them.
I was just wondering if there'd be like a different way. I was thinking about, you were talking about, setting goals and that, like how to build them up.
Maybe if they come in angry that day, say, maybe my goal today is to change my attitude, and find a way to not be angry for 3 minutes.
So the topic for today, happily ever after, it seems like we have the power to do that for ourselves. And as that conversation turned into a more personal thing about self-care, and who knew happily ever after had to do with making our own decisions.
It is.
and prioritizing ourselves. Because most of the time people think about happily ever after, they think somebody else is responsible for that. But from what I can tell from our conversation today, our happily ever after depends on us. Isn't that true?
Absolutely, 100% our responsibility.
So now I think is a good time to wrap up our show and continue on with our self-care journey. So what we're going to do is, now that our hands are all nice and soft, we're going to try this retinol cream, because you can use it on your face and you can use it on your hands. It's got this fun little pump, and we're just going to try it out. I've been using it on my hands in this dry weather. It's amazing. So our product sponsor for today was Local Legend Salon and Spa, the Radiance Collection, which you can find at the salon during Self-Care Sunday. But I would like to do a special shout out to our content and marketing creator, ICU Visuals. If you have not worked with them yet, you will want to.
Thank you so much for joining us this week, Laurie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll see you guys next month.
Missfit Monologues.